So, as you all know, we hit the halfway point on the 18th, and things will start heating up. I just saw on my Roadrunner text that the Senate is adjourned for floors until Wednesday, which is kind of, I guess some people are getting nervous about that. They haven't had a lot of floor sessions on either side, but I do think things will start heating up. As of importance to the city of Albuquerque on some of the bigger policy issues, the VIP program, which is important, is still sitting in House Finance. And we've worked with Vice Chair Small, who is doing a lot of the work on the budget. We've given him the appropriate coding through DOH with great assistance from Bianca, from Joe's team, given him the language, and I'll be following up with him the weekend because we're still working with the Speaker and Vice Chair Smalls to try to get some money via that program there. Big ticket item, House Bill 4, the Civil Rights Act, of course, passed with 39 votes. It's headed to the Senate, where Senator Cervantes will be carrying it. He is also carrying an update to the Tort Claims Act, and we're watching that carefully because the two could get conflated because his Tort Claims Act cap increases the cap. Of course, the Civil Rights Act acts separately from that, so we're watching that. An issue I know dear to the council is the House Bill 20, which has been sort of a compromise bill between labor and other progressive voices. I think there's still some concerns or questions on how the PTO will work, whether different businesses can get exemptions, especially those businesses that have collective bargaining agreements. There's some kind of ambiguous language that's been kicked around. So that's where that is. Senate Bill 8 is a bill that the city has been involved in. It's the Air Quality Act bill. Senator Candelaria raised some amendments that I discussed with him yesterday. Secretary Kenny is updating the bill. They're working with the New Mexico Environmental Law Center to try to address some of his concerns. And hopefully that bill will get resolved and keep moving forward. There's a whole host of law enforcement related bills, including updates to the camera lapel bill, psychiatric holds, drag racing, new drag racing restrictions. And Damon, I've been working with Damon Martinez, has been primarily taking the lead on that, but I'm working with him to help make sure those bills keep moving. And we're on a watch with a lot of the other bills, and I think we're gonna, the table is now set. Other than dummy bills, I think we have a pretty good idea of the larger policy issues that are at play. There's still I would call the packet of 4 HR bills, which are the paid sick leave, family medical leave, and minimum wage. I guess the two bills on sick leave are kind of combined. And those are all still moving, and I think it's unclear as to whether they're going to get really behind one and try to make sure one makes it past the finish line as opposed to the entire package. I don't think I've missed anything. Joe is going to probably talk more about the budget numbers came out. That's his bailiwick, and he can talk about capital and other stuff like that. Joe, if I missed any policy stuff, let me know.
Okay, well, maybe before we move to Joe, are there any questions on the non-capital issues for Mr. Jaramillo? Okay.
Madam Chair.
Councilor Pena.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, I know, I've been getting a lot of calls on the police reform bills. Can you just tell me a little bit about where they're at? Some people I'm hearing, they're going to pass, and then others I'm hearing that they're not really going to go anywhere, like I don't remember off the top of my head. I had them written down a while ago, but if you can just kind of just briefly brief us on that.
I think you may be talking, Councilor Pena, I think you may be talking about Senator Munoz's bill. It deals with a lot of reform in terms of officer training. And that bill was largely introduced as an alternative concept to the Civil Rights Act. And I think there's going to be some movement to say, let's do both. So I think Senator Munoz is geared up to start hearing that bill. That bill is going to start moving this in the next coming days. But it was really introduced as, and I know Joe talked to the Muni League about it as well. I had some discussions with the Muni League. My guess is with the speaker's position on that is going to be, let's do both if we can, but not, I don't see if right now with the Civil Rights Act amended in the manner that it was with a cap and limitations on languages and passing the House with 39 votes, then you factor in the changes in the makeup of the Senate over the last election. I don't think it's going to be, I don't think if the legislature is asked to choose between the two, they will choose the training reform bill that Munoz has introduced in place of the Civil Rights Act. I think the Civil Rights Act has momentum in the Senate. I think it'll have strong support in the Senate. And so the only question is whether, I think right now for me, is whether the Civil Rights Act will be passed along with the Municipal League's bill that Senator Munoz has introduced.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thanks, Councillor. Might you also be referring to, I'm getting a lot of questions about Senator Lopez's bill on less lethal force.
Yeah, there was a few, and I don't remember. And then someone brought up the what's that one that we didn't pass it here at the city, but it was the yeah, I lost my train of thought. I should have written them down, but anyway, so we'll keep our ears to the ground on that one, on those ones. So thanks, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Jaramillo? Yes, Councillor Seta.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I had a question in regards to the status of House Bill 156, or where that's at in committee.
Thank you, Councillor.
This one's relating to making it a penalty for a peace officer who has a person in their custody.
I'll just tell you, I'm not familiar with the exact status of it right now, but I'm happy to check it and text you and follow up with you over the weekend on it for sure.
Yes, please do. Thank you.
Okay, I will.
And Madam Chair, I didn't remember, I had another counselor remember for me. It was the one on qualified immunity.
Yeah, that's Councilor Pena, that's the Civil Rights Act.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
yeah.
Great. Are we any more questions on this group of bills? If not, we'll turn it over to Mr. Thompson to talk about capital.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair and everyone. I got to tell you, I'm extremely proud to be a member of the City of Albuquerque's team, because the last couple of weeks working with Mr. Motzko at the city, Isaac, the executive team, and then the counselors, analysts, Mr. Menicucci and his team, I think we have really responded to the challenge of how to get our projects uploaded and supported by legislators, and that all culminated with the list that just came out this morning. That is, now the projects are ID'd by member, and the challenge for us in the next week is going to be driving or connecting legislators with specific projects. I can tell you it's Libya Naya, who I hope is on this call. I'm afraid to look and see if she's there, but she's incredible. She managed to figure out how to get the projects from the website and get them in a digestible format to get to the counselors and everyone. And so Libby, if you're on here, thank you. I'm so happy that you're part of the team. And so now what we're going to be doing over the course of the next week is responding to inquiries from legislators about specific projects. An example would be this Domingo Baca pool, where there's a tremendous amount of support for that for Councilor Bassan's that project. Senator Moores has said that he's probably going to give all of his money to it. That remains to be seen, but that kind of stuff that we'll be working on over the course of the next week. And it's just maybe calling on almost everybody on this call at some point in the next week to maybe talk with a specific legislator or staffer. So I'll answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Any questions for Mr. Thompson? Thank you. Ms. Anaya is on the phone, so thanks for your work. Okay.
Madam Chair?
Yes,
Madam
Councilor
Chair?
Bassan. Oh, sorry, Councilor Bassan has her hand raised in the chat here, so I'll call on her first. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You got me really excited there, Mr. Thompson. So thank you very much. That's good to hear. But also let me know, that's what gets me so thrilled about being on this committee with everyone here, is even just hearing how we can be proactive in helping the city. So I look forward to hearing what phone calls, what emails, what I need to do, and I will be willing to do it to benefit Albuquerque. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you, Councilor. Go ahead, Mr. Jaramillo.
Yes, and Councilor Sena, I will certainly update you on 156, but I do see that it passed, and you probably already know this, it passed CPAC on a 3-2 vote. So it is currently in House Judiciary. And I will check with Chair Chasey as to where, when it's going to be scheduled. The sponsors are Brittany Barreras and Roger Montoya, 2 freshmen. And I can also follow up with Leanne Leith and Megan Dorsey in the Speaker's office. They typically are the ones who coordinate freshman legislation.
Thank you. All right, well, seeing no other hands raised, our next 2 agenda items are discussion of the report we just received and then action items in response to those reports if needed. Do we have any business on either of those agenda items? Okay, well, seeing no, any other items for discussion? All right, seeing none and considering it's a Friday afternoon, thank you all very much. Have a great weekend.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye.